Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. The image of Nimrod throughout history has consistently been associated with a despot, and even
Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Rakak Vadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kama. Once again, this is your brother, about one, back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai. And basically, what we're going to be going into is all the old fables and hold on. You have to be ready for the noise. I've been trying to find a quiet place to just come to and do this and do this video, but nowhere that doesn't really have much sound. It's really hectic right now. But anyway, back to the video. A lot of people are going into this history, which you see right here. The title of this video is Nimrod, the rebel son of Cush, the builder of the Tower of Babylon. And a lot of people like to go into this history, or rather biblical history, going into all the different mysteries, trying to be more deep than they actually are. And the part of the scripture that they like to go into is the creation part, that is from the book of Genesis all the way to Noah to Abraham, right? So everything that happened during that period between Adam and Eve, Enoch, Noah, and his sons, and all of that up until Abraham. A lot of the people like to go into that history and like to bring out different misconceptions and false doctrines about those periods, those times, things that happened during the period before and after the flood. You have things like Nephilim, okay? Yes, Nephilim, both before and after the flood, even though the scriptures clearly tells you that the only people that survived the flood were Noah and his family. That's Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. So that is 8 people. But but you have different bloggers that will come out and say that, oh well, there was some Nephilim that survived the flood. This happened, that happened. Some people survived the flood. You even have that movie, Noah, right? A demonic movie, that's put a lot of confusion. That claim that Lamech survived the flood. And these are different things that if you go through the scriptures, you would understand. So let me get some precepts first and foremost, because I'm feeling some type of way about just speaking without bringing out any. I'm feeling some type of way about quoting precepts. So let's start from this right here, where the scriptures tell you exactly what happened during the flood. Hold on, that's an accident. That should be in the. Yeah, it is. Hold on, let me make sure that I got the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. So this is the book of 2 Peter 2, verse 4. Where the Most High, Yahweh Shai, spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Right, so only 8 people were saved during the time of the flood. Only 8 people were saved during the time of the flood, okay, which was Noah and his family. That's what I was saying. Only 8 people were saved. Now was Noah, his wife, his children, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. That's 8 people in total. And this is what the scriptures are talking about right here. Noah being the 8th person. So that's only 8 people that were saved. So anybody that comes up to you and tells you that, oh well, there was some group of half angels, half demons, that's basically what they say the Nephilim is. Right? They are half angels, half human, which is completely off according to the scriptures. And only 8 humans survived the flood. And you already know what the scripture says concerning angels. Different the scriptures has to the scriptures explains that angels and human beings cannot even have sex or create children, or complete or create children, okay? Because first and foremost, all flesh is not the same flesh. Because there is a flesh terrestrial, right? A flesh celestial. And the glories of, let's just get that. First Corinthians 15, Verse 39, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. The same way that a human man, a human female, cannot impregnate or get impregnated by any animal out there. In the same way that an angel cannot impregnate a human being. And this also kills your virgin birth doctrine. First Corinthians 15, verse 40. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. And we know that one part of the glory of the celestial is that they cannot marry or are given into marriage. But was incapable of having sex. Let's get that. So this is the book of Matthew 22, verse 29. Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High, Yahushua in heaven. And as you already know, according to the scriptures, sex is marriage. So that means that in the heavens, the angels can't have sex. So no possibility of Nephilim. So now we go to the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter, because there are so many false doctrines, just like the Nephilim doctrine that these Christians are always going into. They're not Satya Salatya. I put it only on the Christians, but it's really all you people out there in the world, especially Jake that's trying to be super deep, you know. Anytime a Jake is trying to be super deep, they always want to go into the lost books, always bring out some book that nobody has ever heard of, you know, some book with some kind of crazy book out name. I read from that book, you know, the book of Nephi, the Kiba Nigan, you know, the Kiba, I'm posting about that book, you know, and all these different lost books that are completely off. And Jake is always going into history like that. Oh, well, Nimrod, you see, the kingdom of Sumeria, Anunnaki, Nephilim. The kingdom of Sumeria, Nimrod was in half Nephilim, Anunnaki, this and that. And it's all off, okay? So this is the book of Genesis 10, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Sheba, and Havilah, and Shapta, and Rama, and Sabteka. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. And this is all the scriptures say concerning Nimrod, showing you that he and his accomplishments are not important. It doesn't matter what kingdoms he built. It doesn't matter what history he made. It doesn't matter, you know, what he did, because at the end of the day, these things are irrelevant. Okay, that's why the scriptures don't focus on it. That's why the scriptures don't give you any information concerning any more information than this concerning Nimrod. You know, if he was going into, and really the main reason for that is because this is a heathen right here. All right, it's not just any heathen, but a wicked one. Let's continue reading. Genesis 10, verse 9. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. So even the first king after the flood, of course, was Nimrod. All right, he built up the OG, the first kingdom of Babylon. Because if you go into the scriptures, Babel is from the Hebrew word Babal, which means confusion, which is the same word that is used in Babylon, the same Babylon that Nebuchadnezzar II, right, built up and put our people, the southern kingdom, in captivity under. And this shows you right here that Nimrod was a Hamite. So before some, because you know that Jacob one can say, "Oh, well, Nimrod was an Israelite." You know, Nimrod was an Israelite. You know that there's one bugger Jake out there that just waiting to try and use that, because even these buggers are now saying that Alexander the Greek blue Edomites was actually Jake, which is false. Okay, but even the scriptures tell you that. Let's take that in of Proverbs 10. Okay, but the real reason why, you know, you see that in history, all these heathen that are considered a big deal in this kingdom right now, and all the prehistory, which is all the kingdoms and civilizations that may have existed, back during the time of Noah, because you also go into back in the time of Noah, or even during the time of Adam, because you go into the book of Genesis before the flood, you had the kingdom of Nod, which the scriptures don't go into too heavily because those kingdoms are irrelevant. The only relevant thing that's of relevance in the scriptures is Jake, our people, and I'll get that precept. But let me get this. Proverbs 10, verse 7. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. And basically, what that means is that all of you wicked, the same way that Nimrod, is just a name, it's just a name or two verses in the scriptures. It's the same way that Esau, Edom, and everything you see in this kingdom will be 2 pages in a history book. Okay, that Esau the built of this kingdom and it lasted for a certain amount of time. The end. All right, because this kingdom that you are living in right now, that many people will see as the greatest kingdom that ever existed, right, will just be a footnote in history and will be seen as the most wicked and basest and lowest kingdom to ever exist. Because the only kingdom, right, the true kingdom is the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that our people will inherit in the future. All right. So that's what I was saying. Let's get that. That's what I was saying. You should not be focused on the history that you should be focused on history or any of the history that isn't outside of this truth, outside of the scriptures, outside of edifying and doctrine. Okay, First Timothy 1 verse 4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies which minister questions rather than godly edifying which is in faith, so do. So if you want to ask about who was Nimrod, was Nimrod Gilgamesh? Okay, what about Sumeria? That's the oldest kingdom. That's the oldest known civilization. What does the scriptures talk about Sumeria? What about it? There is no importance in the any civilization or any kingdom that isn't mentioned in the scriptures because they simply are not important when it comes to history and when it comes to the grand scheme of things. They are irrelevant. Okay, Jake is always trying to go too deep. That's why we always talk about, like I said, Nephilim, Anunnaki, and now have 100 different names for the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I think the newest one is El Elyon. I think the newest one, it's ridiculous, man. And I would have gone into some secular history about Nimrod and how Esau Edom or what Esau Edom has found about him, or even going to the Josephus as well. But I will just defeat the purpose of this video, right? Being that everything you need to know about Nimrod, everything you need to know about history is already in the scriptures. This is why the scriptures say, let's get that. I believe that should be Isaiah 34. No one shall want her mate. Right? Isaiah 34 verse 16. Isaiah 34 verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her meat. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Right. Everything you need to know about history, everything you need to know about prophecy, everything you need to know is already contained in the scriptures. And I'm not adding the book of Enoch or the book of Joshua or the book of Jubilees, right? Or the 7 books of all kinds of wicked, off books out there that are not part of the scriptures. The book of Nephi, I could go on. The Tanakh, what do they call that book again? You know the one I'm talking about. You know the one, it's like not the Tanakh, so like not the Tanakh. But you know what I'm talking about? The book that the small hearts use, Talmud. Yes, the Talmud. Even the Quran as well, okay? You don't have to read any of these fake biblical books or all these quote unquote lost books where they will tell you that, oh well, Noah was leprous, which shows you that which shows you right that the book of Enoch is completely off. Because why would the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua put a curse upon the one man that he would save? Put the curse of leprosy upon the one man that he would save or from the old world or from the world before the flood, right? But Anyway, the focus is this, that even atheists are always going into the what happened before and after the flood, the history of the scriptures before and after the flood, talking about lost civilizations, all the civilizations that were destroyed by the flood, all those things do not matter. What Nimrod built, the cities, the kingdom of the first kingdom of Babylon, the kingdoms of Arcadia and Sumeria, and all these ancient kingdoms do not matter. Okay, talking about wicked demons. Talking about the Bible was inspired by the Epic of Gilgamesh. Oh, the Epic of Gilgamesh had a flood story as well. That's where the Bible gets its flood story from. Which know that the name of the Most High, Allah, Alahayam, is from the Canaanite god El. And if you hear the madness these atheists are constantly talking about, trying to discredit the scriptures, you know, But anyway, that's all I have for this video. So with that, I'll end the video right there. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Rakab, Badash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you Akyam, and your acquires are edified. Shalom.